morning. So I will turn the pages of the story, but you can also see them up here behind us. Norbert, are you ready? Are you ready? High five if you're ready, Norbert. Are you ready? We're not starting until I get a high five. Okay, he's ready. So this is Norbert, What Can Little Me Do? Inspired by a real dog. And it starts off, this journal belongs to Norbert. And this is actually Norbert's artist journal. So not only does he write in it, but you'll also see he posts pictures, which are the illustrations painted by my mother. And there's also little drawings as well, which were actually created by my brother, who did those. So he contributed to this book as well. And when I wrote the story, I imagined what it would be like if I was Norbert and I just moved to the big city. And this is also not only the first illustration in the book, but the very first time that I ever saw Norbert. And we were at the airport. Does anybody know what city this might take place in? What do you think? New York. New York, that's a good guess, but it's not New York. And it's Boston, that's right. And Norbert writes, I moved to a big city. And here he is at his new home. And it says, welcome. And here's Norbert looking out over his big new city, and that's his favorite ball that he likes to play with. Where did he come from? He came from California. Yep, very big. And he was 4 months old. And of course, I have to carry Norbert across the street, and on the other side, look who he sees, and he says, I wished I could woof like the loud collie dog, but my mini mouth makes a very mini sound. Well, I can't do what big dogs do. What can little me do? And Norbert says, I wished I could fly in the sky like the birds. Oh, but I have no wings, so my paws stayed put. Well, I can't do what birds do. What can little me do? The next day, Mama said, let's take the subway and go to the store. Norbert writes, everyone had somewhere to go and something to do, except me. And now look who's smiling, and Norbert writes, right from the start, making people smile was my greatest gift. I only had to follow my very big heart. So then at the store, and this actually happened in real life, the sales lady told us we should become a registered therapy animal team. That's just what we did, and now we volunteer to bring smiles and joy and comfort to many in need. Thank you. So on the next page of the book, there's a few fun facts about Norbert we like to share with everybody. Norbert's 5 years old, as you saw. His date of birth is March 27th. And Norbert, this is the question that we get asked the most. What kind of a dog is Norbert? And he is a mixed breed. He's a combination between a Chihuahua, a Cairn Terrier, and a Lhasa Apso, we think. We had a DNA test done on him to find out, and that's what it came back as. I definitely know his mother is a Chihuahua because we have a photo. And Norbert's about 7 inches tall, full grown. When he was a puppy, when I got him, it's pretty interesting. He was dark brown. He looked totally different than what he looks like right now, and he kind of transformed over the first year of his life. Some of Norbert's favorite things to do are to take walks, take naps, make people smile, of course, and he loves, oops, dance? No. He loves to play with socks as well, stinky socks. And then some of Norbert's favorite things to eat are turkey, chicken, his kibble, and what he calls eggy schmeggy, which is egg. So in the very back of the book, there's a list of all of the materials that we used to create this. We consider it to be a work of art. It took us 3 years to publish. And some of the things on the list are fabric, watercolor, tempera paint, gouache, marker, pencil, crayon, masking tape. We say pretty much everything but the kitchen sink, except Norbert takes baths there, so that counts too. So we just used everything. And then if you remember at the beginning of the book, this photo was kind of loosely, or this illustration was loosely based on this photo, and this is the first time I saw Norbert when I picked him up at Boston Logan Airport. And you can find out about him. I found him on a website called petfinder.com. And I looked for about 1.5 years to find a dog, and I called the person who had him listed on there, and I just knew instantly that this was the dog for me. And she agreed as well because she turned down a few other families. He needed to go to a special home because he was so little with somebody that didn't have other dogs, and she just thought I would be perfect. So we think it was kind of fate that we were brought together, and Norbert is my first dog. I never kind of thought he would become a therapy dog when I got him until in this story we walked into that eyeglass store and the woman saw him and said he would be a great therapy dog. So Norbert is the only dog in his litter. So no, he doesn't have any brothers and sisters, and that's quite unusual for dogs. And I also trained Norbert myself. He's quite smart, so I credit that to him. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do as a registered therapy animal team. Norbert has to do all of the basic dog commands like sit, stay, come. Additionally, he has to be able to be comfortable around people and not just be comfortable but react well even to maybe something that might be uncomfortable, like if somebody pulled his fur. You know, he has to be able to be around another dog without barking like crazy, being around food without getting anxious or overexcited. He has to sit on somebody's lap for 30 seconds. He has to be comfortable with a wheelchair going by him or crutches. They take a book and actually slam it on the floor right by him to see how he reacts to a loud sound, because in hospitals there's all kinds of commotion and sounds that he has to be able to be predictable, you know, in a situation like that. So those are some of the main things that he has to do for his test. And he has to get recertified every 2 years. And he has certification with actually 3 organizations: Pet Partners, which is a national nonprofit. The American Kennel Club has a certification called the Canine Good Citizen, so he has that. And the third one, he's called a Read Dog, which is a Reading Education Assistance Dog, which allows him to go into places like libraries where children can sit and read to a dog, which helps give them confidence maybe if they're having challenges with reading. And it's supposed to be it's supposed to be more comfortable for them to read to an animal and less intimidating sometimes than in other situations. We volunteer right now at Boston Children's Hospital. We started visiting a local nursing home, and so Norbert is comfortable and loves making people of all ages smile. And what that means is we go in and he might sit on somebody's bed, he might do his tricks. A lot of the children have his book because we donate as much as we can to the hospital, so they get to read his story and then see the real dog, which is really cool. And then there's something that's just really therapeutic about, you know, patting an animal that makes people smile and kind of forget challenges that they're going through or if they're not feeling good. So that's what Norbert and I do as a therapy animal team. And for him to become a therapy dog, he had to pass a series of about 20 different tests. And then there's also a written test as well. So he had to go through quite a lot to be able to do that with me. Are there any questions about that at all? No? Okay, well, then let's see some drawings from the illustrator. This will be fun.
All right, so I was the one who created the illustrations for the story that Julie wrote about Norbert. And as she said, it took us 3 years to create the book. It was a real work of art. that we created these. And I am going to do some quick drawings for you right now that maybe we can have some help from some of the kids in the audience to remember some of the things that happened in the story. So let's see if you can remember. When Norbert went to the park, he saw 5 different animals. He saw 5 different animals. Can anybody tell me what one of the animals is that Norbert saw? Yes.
A dog.
He saw a dog. What kind of dog was it? Do you remember?
Big dog.
It was a big dog, right? Not like Norbert, a great big dog. In fact, it was a collie dog. Want me to draw a big dog for you?
Yeah.
All right. Want me to draw a big dog? I'll draw a big dog for you. How about right here? We'll draw the head of a great big collie dog. And collie dogs have long pointed noses like this, and they're black on the ends, and their eyes are kind of here on the side of their heads, and they have a lot of fur around their heads like this, almost like a lion does. Great big fur like this. And so this is a big dog. All right, there's one. What's another animal? Yes?
A big horse.
So a big horse. So want me to draw a horse for you?
Yeah.
Okay, I will draw a horse right here for you. All right, so here's our horse. Like this. The duck, and the duck was swimming, right? So we'll draw the duck. Good job. All right, so here we go. Here's the duck. Here's the duck's beak. Make the duck smiling. The duck's tail. Swimming on the water.
It seems like something's missing from this drawing.
Something's missing. Who's missing from this drawing? Who's missing?
Norbert.
Norbert! Should I draw Norbert in the middle?
Absolutely.
Draw Norbert? Okay, let's draw Norbert. So, let's see, how should I start to draw Norbert? Well, Norbert has one of these. Anyone know what that is?
That's fine.
All right, and here's Norbert's other eye, right here. And Norbert has a little black nose that's shaped like a heart. So I'll make Norbert's nose shaped like a heart. And Norbert very often looks like he's smiling. So we'll draw Norbert with a big smile like this. And Norbert's tongue is always sticking out, right? So we'll draw Norbert's little tongue sticking out here like this. And he's very fluffy. Norbert is very fluffy. So we'll draw him fluffy, and he has big ears that stick out the side like this. So we'll draw Norbert's ears sticking out the side. And he has his fluffy face, like that. Okay. Does that kind of look like Norbert, Julie?
Yeah, maybe he should be wearing a bow tie.
No, a bow tie?
Yeah, definitely.
The big one? All right, big bow tie, like in the slideshow. Anybody remember that great big huge bow tie?
Yeah.
All right, here's the big bow tie on Norbert, like that. And
That's
Norbert
great.
has very little legs. Very little legs like this. His back legs here, and he has a fluffy tail. And what does Norbert make everybody do? Smile. Norbert makes everybody smile. Here's Norbert, and I have to take this pencil here. This little red tongue like that. So those are all the animals that were in Norbert, What Can Little Me Do? Now, one of the things that we like to do when we go around and we meet with children in schools is we like to ask this question. And the question is this. Norbert likes to make people smile. And Norbert actually thinks if he can make people smile and he's so little, anybody can make people smile. It's great to make other people smile, isn't it? It's fun to make people smile. So, what's that? A wolf? You'll have to take that into consideration for our future,
princess?
for our future books. Yeah, princess and book.
Love the suggestions.
But what we do when we go around to schools is we ask children what they themselves can do to make people smile, because we want young people to understand that they can all think of things to be kind and caring and compassionate in the world. And we have some really wonderful answers from children when we go into schools about how they can do that. Another thing that always delights us as well when we're meeting with school children is we ask them, what do they think the meaning of the book is? You know, what do they think the meaning of the book is? And yeah.
You're not too small to do anything.
That's great. That's exactly right. And that's one of the big messages of the book is no matter how small you are, you can always make a big difference in the world. Everybody can make a big difference in the world. We also have children who answer and say to us, you know what? You should never compare yourself to anybody else. Just because you can't do what somebody else does doesn't mean that you don't have your own special gifts. Norbert couldn't do what the squirrel did or the duck did or the horse did, but he could do something very special himself. So it's always important to try and understand what your own gifts are. So not compare yourself to anybody else. And to be kind, and to be compassionate, and to be caring, right? All right, so.
Another thing we also, when I'm reading this story, I usually ask is, because we're speaking to younger children, is does anybody know what a subway is? And most of the kids raise their hand. And this last school that we visited, one of the children said, really excited in the back with their hand up, and I said, yes. And he says, a restaurant! That was one of our funniest moments, I think. So, yeah.
And I thought I would bring for you a couple of the actual illustrations for the book. These were painted with a variety of different kinds of paint. This is what they look like before they go into the book. Largely for these paintings here, I used a lot of a kind of paint that's called gouache. And gouache is like a thick watercolor paint. It's diluted with water and it's opaque. I'm sure some of you have used watercolors before, so it's a water-based paint. And so these are the size of most of the illustrations that are in the book that are then resized to go onto the pages of the book. So that's what those look like.
All right, Norbert, you ready? So Norbert's tricks are a little bit different than most dog tricks in that they have unique names. And I don't know why I really started that when he was a puppy, but I'm a creative person, so I thought, you know, he'll react to any type of sound or word or even movement. So I'll just kind of make up our own and see how it goes. So Norbert's command for stay is a word that you might have heard if you know anything about yoga. It's called namaste. Norbert, namaste. Sit. Namaste. So then his command is just come. Good boy. Okay. Now sit. And his command for lie down is a word called Zen, which is spelled Z-E-N. So I say, Norby, Zen. Good boy. And his command, he knows a few languages, so his command for turn around in like a little circle is the French word for turn. So I say, Norbert, tourne, 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 Zen, good boy. And then he's like, I'm dizzy, that's enough. Okay, sit. So one of his favorite ones and mine is just a high five, which we do with the children at the hospital all the time when he visits. So I say, Norbert, high five. High five. Sit. So I say, Norby, love. You missed. Sit. Love. Good boy. High five. They're very similar. Okay, sit. And then I say, high five. And then I put his food down. Namaste. Namaste. Mangia. And mangia is the word for eat in Italian. You were a little quick on that one, Norbert. Namaste. Sit. Mangia. Good boy. So I also taught him a few different commands based on movements. We haven't done this one in a little while, but if I put my hands together and bow, he should lie down, hopefully. Good boy. Okay. I know, I better not bend over. The next one is called Peace Around the World. You remember that one? And he walks around me in just a little circle, okay? So Norbert, peace around the world. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. And the last big finale, which is why we needed the little carpet so he doesn't slip, is he does kind of like a pirouette, like a ballerina. And this one we call Wally Whirl. Wally Whirl. Up, up. So those are all his tricks, and he knows a few others like namaste, bed. Like if I say bed, he'll get in his bed, and he knows how to jump if I say a Spanish word, which is called salte, for jump in Spanish. But he can learn tricks really fast. Like, oh, the other one is kiss kiss. Well, he usually licks my hand. Norbert, kiss kiss. But he can learn a trick really in a day or less. He's just picks it up and kind of gets it because he's very motivated